Raja Krishnamurthy, House of Representatives from Illinois 8th District, utilized his method of questioning to establish a fundamental point. Many of the complaints regarding alleged interference in investigations should in fact be directed at Trump appointees. Krishnamurthy had communicated his inquiries to Joseph Ziegler and Gary Shapley, two IRS whistleblowers who claim that the Justice Department neglected to investigate Hunter Biden. The witnesses are part of the Republican effort to indict the Bidens for corruption. Must watch. Happen Just Now. Enjoy hearing your thoughts. Please leave comments. Thanks.
You say, quote, I started this investigation in November 2018 after reviewing bank deposits. Then you later say, career IRS staff were not initially supportive of starting the investigation. Of course, in November 2018, Joe Biden was not the president, correct?
Joe Biden was not the president, correct.
And then at page 20, you lay out another concern. You had a concern about Bill Barr, Attorney General Bill Barr, consolidating these series of cases into the U.S. Attorney's Office in Delaware. At that point, you said, quote, what was the potential issue I saw with working the case in Delaware? We were working with a small U.S. Attorney's Office who might not have ever worked a case of this caliber. Now, of course, Bill Barr was appointed by Donald Trump, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Now, let me turn to another concern that you lay out in your testimony. You were concerned about the quality of the prosecutors. On page 14, you say, quote, the prosecutors were the JV squad, and they weren't up to the task of handling such a big case. Now, sir, U.S. Attorney Weiss was also appointed by Donald Trump, right?
So as far as the actual nomination and what went into why...
I'm not asking you why. I'm just saying USA Weiss was appointed by Donald Trump, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Now, another concern you lay out in your deposition at page 21, you talk about your concerns about this investigation having been made overt, being publicized for the world to know. You said, quote, one of the first disagreements I recall between the IRS investigators and prosecutors was the idea of going public. Now, sir, this was in March, April 2019. Joe Biden was not the president then, was he?
So I don't recall the exact date of when he announced that he was going to run for presidency, but I know that
That's not my question, sir. Joe Biden was not the president in March, April 2019, correct?
That is correct.
Now, Mr. Shapley, let me turn to you for a second here. You also raise a series of concerns in your deposition transcript. One is this. You said you were concerned about the complexities of the election cycle and potential delays that arose in connection with the election cycle. You said at page 23, and I remember there were always times where we were always on an impending election cycle. It was always the elections being brought up in early 2020. It was the presidential primaries. Now, sir, Joe Biden was not the president at that time either, was he?
I mean, the answer to your question is no, he was not, but I don't see where you referenced it in my, for me to
Page
follow
23.
along.
You're talking about how the election cycle is delaying decisions by the prosecution. And it turns out that the delay in the election cycle was happening at a time when Joe Biden was not the president.
I'm sorry, sir. That's in Special Agent Ziegler's transcript. That's why I couldn't find it.
So, Mr. Ziegler and you shared concerns about delays related to the election cycle, but at that time, Joe Biden was not the president.
I believe at that time he was the nominee for president.
But, well, he was not the president, was he? It's just a simple question, sir.
Can you rephrase what time period?
Joe Biden was not the president in the presidential primaries in 2020.
Correct. That is correct.
Sir, finally, Mr. Shapley, you said that warrants were ready as soon as April 2020 to begin searching for records, but actions weren't taken with regard to those warrants. Again, Joe Biden was not the president in April 2020, was he?
So I'm confused by your line of questioning. We're talking about an election to which now President Biden was a part of. So he didn't have to be the president to have election meddling.
No, but the question is this. Was he the president at that time, in April 2020?
It's been asked and answered.
And what's the answer, sir?
The election
The answer is
issue
yes or no?
is no, that.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you. I yield back.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Happen Just Now for more content about accountability of all public officials and policy and procedures.